ibebrangu mdari ibebrangu Camilla ntozviziva pari papa angangoramba akadata chipimba ibebrangu ndakatomutangira chale uya. Hey, how are you? I'm good. I'm the Queen Dre, but please call me Dre. And welcome to Views from the Skew, that place where we give unpopular opinion on world issues and some daily lived experiences to help us better our personal making decisions. If you're new, welcome. I hope you stay. Please show us some love by liking or subscribing to the channel. And if you are a skewer, gang, what's up? Welcome, fam. How you doing? I've missed you. Can you believe it? In this video, we're going to be talking about the relationship that happened between Princess Diana, may her dear soul continue to rest in peace, and Prince Charles. Now, we all hate to admit it, but there's that one person who we thought was the one, because they ticked all the boxes and were willing to self-sacrifice just to be with them. Often we look back at those years and we ask ourselves, what was I thinking? What did I see in this guy? Like, help me understand. God forbid anybody reminds you, anyway, do you remember when you used to have like a crazy crush and you're like, oh my god, stop. The way I see it, it is all part of, the journey towards realization. First of all, realizing who you are and realizing what you're worth. Like, don't shy away from the experience. It happened. It taught you valuable lessons. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Although this isn't like the story between Prince Charles and Diana, it's not your typical boy meets girl thingy, right? Because obviously. But you will see all the ways in which it is really similar to this fact that I'm talking about. That whirlwind romance of yours that you don't want us to know about. That's what we're talking about. So to begin, age is a critical number. Don't listen to Kels, when he tells you age ain't nothing but a number. It is a critical number. It's actually an important factor, especially when it comes to conservative cultures like the one that we have here in Zimbabwe. And why I'm saying that is because honor your elders, people like your aunties, your sisters. Those are things that are drilled in us as young as we start talking. Like the moment you start saying mom, mama, or daddy or whatever, that is, drilled within you. And you can also hear the same cultural connotations within our linguistic construct. And whenever you're speaking directly to someone who's older than you, you don't just use a simple you. You have to conjugate the mother. You have to use you in the plural sense so you can denote just have the hierarchy of respect that person is to you. That's how deep respect is in conservative cultures. I think people in Japan and China and Korea also can understand some of these things. It's really in Korea or Japan, I think. So why is it important to close the age gap in intimate relationships? For starters, it gives you a better chance of querying events and actions when they happen, without being intimidated by the older party. Because let's be real, when somebody's older, you might feel good, you can't question them, and so you won't. It also helps in developing like a rhythm for conflict resolution that is otherwise not, like anchored on the fact that the older person gets the last say. That's why it's important. And when you look at the relationship that happened between Prince Charles and Princess Diana, Prince Charles was almost twice her age, darling. Right? Secondly, there's a little interesting thing called the power dynamic, and I want to write a book about this. But okay, for today, I'll just tell you what I have. The gold digger in every woman. Yes, I said it. Every woman she's a minor. But the gold digger in every woman wants a man who can command respect in a very wide range. Not just in not there, everywhere. Understand? And what more one whose name in itself is a command of respect, and where the possibility is actually there for me to share that same respect. We've all watched enough TV movies, read enough Bible stories to understand that in many ways power is much more important than love is, especially where royalty is involved, and possibly because it is a constant, or rather it's a facade. It seems so. Much more constant than love is, which, in all honesty, is quite feeble as a concept, and even more in reality. Like, what is love really? Like, it's just relative. That's what it is. I know you're thinking, but Dre, I've never met a prince before. What? A homie? Yes, I know, but you've met men who are in powerful positions. Prefects, head boys, SREC presidents, CEOs, managers, supervisors, counselors, sports team captain, etc., etc. All those are great instances where the power element existed, and you could have been drawn to the idea of being in good favors with the power than realistically being with the person. You fell in love with the office, honey. I don't know about you, but there's a certain ring that comes with being the CEO's missus. You know what I mean? And the other options don't really seem as, they don't. They're not. Let me just say they're not. And this is just at grassroots level of power. So to see you on a contract here 1 year or 25 years or whatever. And this is a whole prince. It's in their blood by virtue of being born into that family. I wouldn't know how to act. I mean, if a prince wanted, listen. I'm falling for that trap with my eyes wide open. Now, number 3 on our lessons is know the why. I feel like that's an overused term, but it drives the point home. I want us to think long and hard before we start getting the wrong ideas about this. Why is someone attracted to you? If you follow the story very closely, you will realize with sad realization that Prince Charles was with other ladies before Prince Diana. She wasn't his first choice. He had 2 other choices. The other choice being Princess Diana's sister, who possibly in her own foresight decided that this is not what she wanted. Truth be told, she did something that royalty doesn't like. She talked to the media and she was off the list. And Princess Diana, being that person, Angoba Perigeze, you know how it is, accompanied them to all their meetings, as was the culture, or is the culture, I don't know. I'm not a royalty, okay? She then became the next obvious choice. And in an article that I read, it is said that Princess Diana's innocence is what made her an ideal candidate. The princess wife had to be so pure and innocent in the eyes of all. What more, no one had laid claim or interest over the girl, who was about 15 or 16 at the time. And Camilla, who was and now is married to Prince. At the time, the only reason why she didn't make the cut was because some guy claimed her in the papers and said, "Ibebrangu dad, ibebrangu, Camilla to Zia, paripo papanga ngurambaga rata chimba, ibebrangu, nagatom tangira chale uyawe," you know, and because of that, yeah. So that's why we're now. Like, if you think about your person's exes, you're thinking, so that's the reason why you guys broke up. Like, it really gives you something to think about in terms of why are they even with you and to start with. And if they're with you because you look innocent and young and this and that, and because nobody else wants you, shy, it has to guess. Now this brings me to my fourth lesson. You can't base who you're going to be with based on other people's opinion of them, which is what happens. I understand it's a public office. No one will ever comment on your personal life or your life choices unless they stand to benefit from that. Human nature. Simple. The only reason why we're here talking about this is because it's relevant and it's interesting. If it's the media, the bottom line targets and the competition is real, so possibly that's why they were talking about them. But you need to have that understanding, which these guys, they actually don't care about me as a person or whatever. So think about it before you believe every he said, she said story. And what does this person gain from believing what they are telling you? Ask yourself that. Practically, this is difficult to implement because some of the devils we live with simply just know how to be evil without cause or justification. For others, seeing you unhappy or unbothered is a good enough reason. Lastly, and perhaps even more controversially, stick with what you pick. There's a part where Princess Diana explains how and when it became apparent of the ongoing relationship between Prince Charles and Camilla and the subsequent confrontations in the documentary, in her own words. That really triggered me. I couldn't imagine someone marrying me because I was the convenient choice and then not being present in the marriage because they have somewhere else they would rather be. I mean, did he even try to be with her, or was it just for the optics and then he retreated to Wales next to, Camilla so that they could maintain that relationship? Perhaps the reason Princess Diana stayed in London all those years is she realized she was in competition with someone else and she couldn't meet that competition. Whatever the cause is, don't do it, kids. It is dangerous, hurtful, careless, and stupid, to say the least. Each relationship comes with its own unique sets of challenges. If you're not going to give it your all, don't even look in that direction. People get hurt and you cannot reverse that pain. Honestly, I could go on with the story forever as it feels very personal to me. I empathize with both the prince and the late princess because Prince Charles discovering that doing what was required of him wasn't going as pleasantly as he had desired, he ends up following his heart and meeting the consequences thereafter. I don't think he is now still in line to be king. To finish off, always do what feels right, even when you don't feel like it. Do right by your partner. That is so important. These are my 5 lessons from Princess Diana and Prince Charles' relationship. Did I miss anything? Show me in the comments. I love to chat. If you like this video, comment, like, and share. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any notifications when the next video is out. Until next time, remember, you are everything you need to be what you want. You have this figured out and you can do it. Goodbye.